My name is Callie Sproles. I am team captain and I am one of the programming leads on the team. One important thing I do as team captain is I hold the team meetings, but I also get information out to the team.
My name is Christopher Carpenter. I'm the business lead of the team, which means I do anything that's basically not the robot itself. That covers awards, presentations, fundraising, and all outreach events.
My name is Jason Mitchell. On the team, I am the build lead, which essentially means that I am over the entire build process of the robot from start to finish, design to deploying it on the field.
My name is Nathan Duke. I am one of the machine shop managers and I'm also a member of the drive team. My general job on the team is to machine most, if not all, of the bars that go through and put on the robot.
My name is Nicholas Carpenter. I am a machinist and I'm also on drive team as a human player.
My name is Joseph Thompson. I am one of the machinists and I am the driver.
So I'm Ethan. I am one of the build managers on team Denham Venom, and I mainly work on all the electrical components.
World Championships is like a regional competition, except you have teams from across the world.
So an important aspect of business, of course, is the awards. Now, you can win several awards per regional, but there's two awards that actually get you 2 Worlds. So this year, business is really looking to punch a ticket to Worlds for our team. We plan to achieve this by making the judges very interested in our team as a whole and trying to show them what we find so special about it. Because sometimes it can be hard to verbalize what makes our team so special. And we're trying to get that across to the judges, because if we could just do that, then there's no doubt in my mind that we would get that ticket to Worlds. And we really want to show, while we might be a relatively new team, we are something to be taken seriously.
As a member of the drive team, I think the most important thing about this game this year is definitely going to be the movement. And with that, there's definitely going to be a lot more collisions and probably a lot more maintenance with the robot. And I feel like it's going to break on us a lot more often than it usually would in any other competition because of just how much speed and collisions are in this competition.
This build season, I am pretty confident about. Our robot is a lot further along than we were last year. It's more developed and already partially built, when last year we were barely even to this part. Our team as a whole is just a lot more organized and efficient this year than we were last year, so I feel pretty confident this year.
Looking at it as a whole, we've definitely expanded out and to our local community a lot more than we have previously. We've asked for sponsorships and support for our team and its development. We've definitely improved a lot in that area.
It's a really close-knit group of people and we get stuff done while also enjoying being around each other, which I think is really important for productivity.
I think really anybody can get into robotics. Before robotics, I played a lot of baseball, I did a lot of sports stuff. I always wanted to go into engineering. I looked at robotics and I was like, I don't really know if it was for me or not. But I joined FTC, which is a little team, and then I was looking over at FRC, and I was like, that is what I really want to do. And I fully jumped to FRC, and I jumped to Denham Venom because I really found my spot with a bunch of people that I really liked. It's almost like a family.
So it's a lot of friendship, it's a lot of teamwork. You'll make new experiences that you've never done before. You'll learn new things that you've never done before. But most of all, you'll come out of it more prepared and more technically knowledgeable than you have gone in. Because going out of it in my senior year, I know a lot more people than I did going in, and I have very great friends.
This season is scary. It seems off. I've been doing this for so long that it's become a part of my life, and I really don't want to leave it behind. It just doesn't feel real. I'm sure everyone out there will be at this point someday where they have done something for years and years, and when it's time to come to an end, they don't know how to feel about it, and that's sort of how I feel now.
I think it is so important to fake it until you make it, but I don't think we're faking it this year. I think we're making it.
I'm Coach Island. I am the coach of Denham Venom 8044 with Denham Springs High School. I'm also the Red Stick Rumble coordinator. So one of the things we've been trying to do with the community over the last number of years is increase the amount of STEM participation that we have among students, elementary, middle, high school. One of the best ways to do that is to show off what we have to offer through our entire school system. And so the Red Stick Rumble is basically a high school level competition. We bring in elementary schoolers, we bring in middle schoolers. All of these things allow the students to see what there is to offer these programs so they can strive for something. They have something to go for as we do this in the community.
So right now we're setting up for the Red Stick Rumble. Last night a big Andy Mark truck came in and we spent the entire night unloading just all this equipment. And right now we're just trying to set up the field itself. Every single individual part we have to sort out. So the whole team right now is just focused on trying to assemble the pieces individually for the field. And then later on, in about 2 or 3 hours, we'll actually be able to start assembling the field itself all as one piece. We're getting it ready for tonight because we're going to do the practice matches where teams will actually come into our gym and we're going to start running matches essentially.
So on Wednesday, our elevator messed up. We have 2 motors that run our elevator. There is a lead motor and a following motor. Originally, our following motor was giving an error saying that there was a mechanical problem with it. But when we went through with all of our coding, we tested the motors individually and found that the following motor was actually working and the lead motor was not. We had to go back and we had to take the whole lead motor off. We had to replace it with a new motor and go back in with all of the programming and fix everything back up.
So this is our 10th annual Dow Red Stick Rumble. We've been doing it for 10 years. The benefit of doing something for 10 years is you get pretty good at planning on how to get stuff started and set up. But the kids here, 8044 especially, they've been here Thursday night, all of Friday until 9:30 at night. And they left and they came back here for 6:30 in the morning, all to get this thing ready to go. Every nut, every bolt, all the field, all the carpet rolled out, all that's done by 8044 and a couple of other volunteers that come in. It's not difficult, it's just exhausting. And so they do all this work and they come back today and they're ready to compete. It's pretty impressive stuff.
This event really shows how big First is and how big of an impact it has, that we have teams from Texas and Mississippi that want to come to our event to see us play and to play with us. Robotics brings a whole different aspect of friendship and being able to be around the people that feel the same about you and you have sort of the same ideas, because once you get into high school, everything is conflicting, and robotics is a place where people that are really similar can come together.
It's such a big event because it shows all the new people what we really are and how big it actually is. Because some people don't think it's as big as it really is, but then when you see this giant gym filled with people, they get really excited for it, and this is what makes them stick with it. High school robotics is so important for everybody around us because, first of all, it's like an activity like sports, you know. You get to have a big family around you that, you know, you get to treasure and have great friends with. And also, with it, you get great experiences that you can bring onto your life later down the line.
You know, I think if all these teams from 3 different states came here to our high school to be able to do this, then it shows passion in what they're doing, that they're willing to travel and spend the money to be able to come here and travel all across America to be able to do what they do. For this robotics season, you know, I came in as a freshman and now I'm a sophomore. I made my way to drive team, so I'm hoping to show what I can do. I want to really prove how important I am to the team.
The level we have been on today, it is incredible. Like, we had a swerve module break last night. We replaced it in an hour. We learned from that mistake. About 30 minutes ago, we had a swerve module break. We replaced it in 15 minutes. And that was mostly students, hands-on, all in the pit. It was really good. I'm super impressed with our performance today. Our robot did really well, but compared to our competitors, I guess we didn't do as well as the competition. We still tried as hard as we could. Moving forward, well, first we got to fix the robot. One of our belts slipped a little bit. It's not going to be too much of a difficult fix. We're going to continue to fix and improve the robot because we're hoping to use that for pep rallies and demonstrations in the future. We're also going to be preparing for our build season, which is coming up in January.
Welcome to the 2024 First Robotics Competition game, Crescendo, presented by Haas. 2 alliances of 3 teams each compete to score or play notes in 3 different field elements, amplify their speaker, get on stage, harmonize, and take the spotlight before time runs out. Alliances earn additional rewards for meeting specific scoring thresholds and for cooperating with their opponents. Robots start each match inside their alliance's starting zone and may be preloaded with a note. During the first 15 seconds of the match, robots are autonomous and can be programmed to leave their starting zone, play preloaded notes in their speaker or amp, and collect and play additional notes. During the following 2 minutes and 15 seconds, drivers control their robots. Robots collect notes from human players at their source and play them in their amp and speaker. Each time an alliance plays 2 notes in their amp, the human player can hit a button to amplify their speaker for 10 seconds. Notes played in an amplified speaker are worth more points than those scored in an unamplified speaker. A human player may choose to play a note scored in their amp to cooperate with their opponent. If each alliance plays a note by hitting their cooperation button in the first 45 seconds of teleop, all teams in the match receive a cooperation point, which will influence a team's rank in the tournament. The number of played notes needed for a bonus ranking point is also reduced. Robots are protected from contact by their opponents when at their podium, off the ground, and during the last 20 seconds of the match while in contact with their stage. As time runs out, robots race to get on stage and deliver notes through the flap and into the trap. Bonus points are awarded for harmony when robots on stage use the same chain. On-stage robots earn even more points if a human player spotlights the robots on a chain by scoring a note on the chain's corresponding microphone. The alliance that earns the most points wins the match.
I'm really nervous about it, but I kind of feel like we've seen a couple games like this before, so we have something to more base it off of. One thing I'm really worried about is those notes or the rings. They're kind of squishy, so I don't know how that's going to affect shooting, and if like when it shoots, will it be wobbly or anything like that.
So it's really similar to the 2021 game with all the game pieces such as the hanger and also the shooting system where you put the rings in. But I think one of like the main game mechanics will like change this whole game is the amplifier and the cooperation bonus, just because it can lower the amount we can to get a ranking point, which makes us score higher. And also with the amplification, we can score more points and get even higher with that.
It seems very similar to 2021's game. It'll be a lot easier than last year's game with figuring our mechanisms out and stuff like that. It won't be as much of a challenge figuring that out. But then some other things like our height and how we want to build our robot in order to fit for strategy is going to be a problem, probably.
Honestly, I think it's going to be a difficult game to figure out the mechanics of, but I think with the level that our team is at, we're going to do very good at this game especially.
So this game, I feel like, we have really experienced drivers, and our team is a lot more experienced than last year. We're going to do pretty good at this game. I feel like we have a good group of mentors and coaches that are going to help us really dissect the game and lead us to a good path so we can really figure out the game and know what the best elements to score are.
I feel like it's going to be a rush. We very easily can build one in 3 weeks. Well, I say easily, not super easily. It's going to be a really big struggle to have all of our ideas set together and to have, all of our materials brought in and everything cut and everything that's set straight to be able to completely build a robot in 3 weeks, because it's a really big task. If we really can, and it's something we're really pushing to do, it'll bring us to the next level because we'll have that many weeks of drive practice and getting used to the robot and updating and just making everything better in general.
Four pieces of wood.
So build season this year has been really interesting. In some ways, we've moved faster than I've ever seen us move, but we've also had the opportunity to iterate a whole lot as we've gone through the season. And so that means we're still doing a lot of last minute stuff because we keep on finding small things that we can fix to make our chances at the competition even better. So we're not stopping at one space and going, okay, we're good. We keep on finding new things that add just a little bit more, a little bit better, a little bit more exciting things that we can do.
Okay, so far build season has been going amazing. So we have finally been able to finish fully constructing the robot, and we're able to start testing our mechanisms like strenuously, so we can test as much as we want with our prototypes. To get those really in-depth tests, you have to run the robot.
So the essays have been coming along very nicely. We've been able to hit every due date before it's actually due, which is pretty good for us. Troubling part about the essays is that they have to meet certain requirements, and you can't really say anything that you don't have outright proof of. Not that we would lie or anything, but it's just a matter of like every single little thing has to be backed up with a full list of receipts. The big essay we're working on, of course, would be the impact essay, and that has a 10,000 character limit, of which we have to explain everything about our team and how we've, furthered our community with STEM and kind of what we do.
I mean, we've had a lot of different stuff go on that messed up our season so far, but also we're doing a lot better than last year, so I think we're generally doing really good.
To be honest, I'm kind of nervous, but I have a good feeling that it's going to go well, rather than just
So I think business has been doing actually really well this year. We got our impact submission and our Woody Flower submissions done, relatively early compared to when the deadline is. And now the kids are just kind of working on the presentations for different awards and stuff like that. So I think we're in a good spot. I think we definitely have a shot at winning some of the, non-robot, more culture-changing awards. And I think we're in a pretty good spot for this season.
Regarding our machining progress, things have been going exceptionally well overall. We have had some challenges with the accuracy of our measurements with our shooters and bumpers. But despite all that, I'm pleased to say that we have been doing exceptionally well in completing our robot.
One major hardship is learning some new things that we've never done before, but also having to go back and realize those mistakes we made. And I think this also helped us out a lot this year by helping us learn that at times we're not going to have it right, and it will be a struggle and we will get it wrong. But yeah, we just have to keep moving on and have to keep improving the best way you can.
So a big issue for the business team has been the fact that this is only our second year really being formed, and this is our second year as well as being able to submit for a lot of the major awards we've been going for. So it's a matter of, while we are very proud of what we've been able to accomplish, and we have accomplished, a lot, especially for the age our team is at, it's really just a matter of experience, because this is something that is completely new to all of us. And it's really just an issue of, as we do our work, we are learning as we go. So it's just that constant struggle of making sure we know exactly what we're doing while making sure we're not doing too much at the same time. So at Arkansas, we're really hoping to be able to secure one of the 2 awards that would get us to Worlds. And the reason for this is we feel it would be very preferable if we could just kind of get that early on at our first regional, so that way our team would have less stress, be able to work more towards the robot itself to help us be better prepared for Worlds.
Next year, we're going to definitely try to settle on one consistent way to measure all our bars, as well as we're going to take apart and rebuild the Omeo from scratch, just to make sure everything is just perfect and correct.
The thing I'm most excited for in this competition is seeing how our robot does, as well as seeing how everyone else competes, and seeing everyone else's individual design as well as ideas on how they should take on this season's game.
I think one of the biggest things you realize in the middle of a build season is that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. You can build a lot of great stuff, but still a CNC machine can stop working the way you think it will, start drilling holes in the wrong spots. You can lose parts in this huge labyrinth of build season. You can have to buy more stuff than you expected. It can cost more money than you thought it would. And I think all of those things have happened. Beneficially, we've been able to work through all of those things, can find ways around the issues that we're having. You can find out that something that you've designed doesn't work exactly like you want it to, and so you spend time going back and figuring out how you make that work better. I think a lot of that we have, if you look around, you'll see parts all over the place of things that didn't work, and so we had to fix them to where they would work.
I think our team will perform pretty well in both aspects. I know that the robot team and the mechanical sub-team has been working really hard on the robot, making sure it's been getting good, getting perfected. And I think as the business sub-team, working with our award submissions and talking to judges and stuff like that, I think we're pretty solid in there too. I know we have gotten a good bit of work done in preparation and practicing, working on our presentations and stuff like that. So I think we're going to do really good in both aspects, both the mechanical and the business side.
Well, I'm looking forward to us doing good and getting a good placement in our alliances and being able to hang out with this whole team. It's great. It's like family.
In comparison to where we were at last year for Magnolia, I definitely think we are a lot more competitive of a bot. And instead of being just a drivetrain bot, we can actually score. And I definitely think that puts us way above everybody else at this time of the year.
Arkansas is where we get to kick the tires. Arkansas is where we get to really see how things work. It's one thing to drive a robot around like a practice field. It's one thing to shoot notes into a speaker when you're here and it's made out of plywood. It's something completely different when you're surrounded by thousands of people and there are other robots on the field and you're trying to make everything work the way it did in practice. And so I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm not emceeing at this event, so I'm going to get to be front and center with the team, sitting in the stands, seeing how things work, and I'm excited to see how that works out.
As a team, I feel like we should finally be able to break through the semifinals kind of curse that we've been put under. Because every single year we have not made it past semifinals. And I definitely want to be able to break that, go to finals and even win.
I did first in high school and now I'm a mentor. Just kind of seeing all of the friends that I've made throughout my time in First Robotics at that event, as now that I'm a mentor, seeing a lot of the mentors that I've met there before, and actually just kind of, getting to interact with them, not as a student, just, being friendly with them and spending time with them and having fun.
We have created a lot and we are getting really prepared and making sure that for this upcoming season, we are going to do the best and we are going to outperform ourselves in every way possible because we want this season to be our season.